Hey guys, Angus here, personal trainer, metabolic health coach, soon to be completely unemployed, and I'll explain to you why in this video. So my grandfather was a carriage maker, like a horse and carriage maker, which obviously was not, in hindsight, a good career choice. Fortunately for him, he learned how to be a carpenter, which was still needed in the world. But personal training, when I first started, it's kind of pre-YouTube, AI, all these apps, your iPhone, it was very much pen and paper and Excel spreadsheets and things. And now we're just in a world where some of my job is becoming made, first of all, it was made easier. And now it's like, do we even need you, bro? It's almost like Uber taking over taxis or Airbnb taking over hotels. So I'm gonna explain why in this video. I'm gonna tell you two apps that are just incredible. So MyFitnessPal used to be the king of nutrition apps. It was slow, it was clunky, but it gave you a good window. It was consistently wrong. MacroFactor is just way better. It's just way better in every single way. All my clients that use MacroFactor just win. And I now barely say anything nutrition wise other than, hey, generally eat healthy, generally plan your meals like this. I have a plan called the Simple Fat Loss Solution. I'll link it below. It's £39. It's not really expensive, but it'll tell you how to plan your meals, combine that with MacroFactor, and then use MacroFactor to kind of work out your kind of like when you want a little treat or when you want a high day, low day to work out around your day. MacroFactor is just the best nutrition app, bar none. You should download it. 62 quid for the year. If you use my code Angus Logan, you get 2-week free trial. If you don't like it in that 2 weeks, cancel your subscription. You don't have to pay anything. If you love it, you get an extra week on me. Definitely download it. Now for the weightlifting side of things, there's an app I'm playing about with just now called Alpha Progression. So I'm gonna make a few videos, Alpha Progression. They're either gonna come out before this video or on the other side of this video. So you can just check for those. I'll link them if that's a possibility. Alpha Progression it's basically just like a weightlifting coach in your pocket. So you put in the equipment that you have. I've got a detailed breakdown of this, by the way, so I'll just skim over this. So you put in the equipment you have, the things you have access to, muscles you want to work and neglect, and then the algorithm will spew out a workout for you. So any monkey can make you a list of workouts. Where real training comes in handy is the progression. That's what makes training training. Progressive overload is what makes training training. It's what makes a program a program. If I just tell you to do bench press and bicep curls, that's just a list of exercises. And I've got some clients that are in unique cases where they're missing shoulder muscles, or they're in a wheelchair, or they have movement restrictions due to low back pain. Yes, you might need a human coach for that kind of scenario. But if you're pretty much good to go, you can use this app. Like for myself, my calves are overdeveloped. I never need to train my calves again. So with this app, I just put neglect calves, and then my biceps could do more work. So I like prioritize biceps, and the workout I did yesterday with the app certainly prioritized those biceps. So that is really cool. So this app's called Alpha Progression. Again, I have a discount code for this, which will give you 20% off for the year, or you can do it monthly, but it'll only give you 20% off for the first month, which is just ridiculous. Get the 20% off for the year. So I think it works out about £55. So for rubbish maths here, right about £120, £130 a year, £150, $150, €150, right about that price range. You can get my Simple Fat Loss course, MacroFactor, and Alpha Progression, which will just be a personal trainer for $150 per year. Yeah, you're probably going to need a gym membership on top of that, and workout clothes, etc. But that is such a freaking bargain that I think everyone should at least try these out to see if this is something they're going to enjoy. Everyone should be lifting weights. Everyone should have at least macro awareness. Even if you're not going to be tracking calories forever, it will give you awareness. You kind of, peanut butter is supposedly a healthy food, and Angus, I buy the peanut butter which doesn't have any palm oil, doesn't have any sugar. And I'm like, have you weighed a portion? And they're like, oh my God. Mayo, it's not the devil, but God, the calories add up crazy in it. And the calories still count whether it comes from a good food or a bad food. Yes, you want to eat nutrient-dense food because this will help feed your cells and give you more energy and more vitality, which is important to eat whole foods. But having this calorie awareness and protein awareness will just move you forward. So if you do a year of tracking with MacroFactor, and some of my clients that have done now over a year of MacroFactor, their scale weight has just gone down like this. It's insane. Completely transformed their lives with this app because it coaches you based on you, not on anything else. Its algorithm is spot on. It's designed by Greg Nuckols and Stronger by Science. If you look those guys up, top tier guys in the nutrition space. And Alpha Progression as well. I'm just early with Alpha Progression, so I can't give you a detailed review, but so far it's absolutely wicked. So try that out. And then you can combine that with some Zone 2 cardio and a 4x4, which is 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off once a week. Cycling on a bike would be ideal for most people. 4 minutes as hard as you can, 4 minutes rest, 4 minutes as hard as you can, 4 times. So 4 total rounds. Bit of a warm up on one end, bit of a cool down on the other end. Go home, sleep. You can track that. I use the Bike Erg, and there's an app called Erg Data, which is free, which links to that, so I can record how I'm progressing. I also, if you want to make this into the next level, you want to become a metabolic nutrition coach for yourself, and you don't want to pay myself online, or you don't want to go see your local personal trainer in the gym, then, so you get your macro factor, you get my simplest fat loss plan, you get macro factor, you get Alpha Progression. Now add in an Oura ring to help sort of monitor your recovery, and then get yourself an Apple Watch to monitor your workouts. This is the most accurate wrist-based tracker. So if you want to wear a heart rate monitor, awesome, and you have a Polar watch and stuff like that, or you want to do Garmin, that's great. But the Apple Watch does most things really, really well, and it's really accurate on the wrist. And then there's an app called Athletic, which is an absolutely awesome app, and it's like 24 quid from the year, and it kind of works out like whoop. I still like to do the Oura ring for sleeping because I don't like to sleep with my Apple Watch, so I can charge that overnight. I sleep with the Oura ring, that will track my overnight heart rate and heart rate variability and give me a readiness for the morning, or I can just look at the raw data to see where I'm at. And the Apple Watch will record my workouts and my step count, which is awesome. So we're logging in those couple of things in there, and then you get a Lumen to check whether you're burning fat or carbs. Why this is so important or really, really useful. If you're burning predominantly fat, I find my brain works better, my cognitive function is better. When I'm burning carbohydrates, that's time just to move my body. It's like, hey, Angus, you're not going to be productive doing some writing or making a YouTube video. Go this way, take yourself for a walk, take the dog for a walk, do a Zone 2 cardio on the bike, do your weightlifting, do your 4x4, whatever it is. Normally I schedule my 4x4, so I won't do that. And then it will kind of give you an indication. So for example, I made a video recently on a 4x4, and after the 4x4, I was in carb burn for a long time, which suggests that my body is still stressing, it's still trying to burn carbs, and it's still like, it's on the bike, it's still being chased by the bear. So by adding in food raises insulin, particularly a carbohydrate meal, which then lowers cortisol. So when your cortisol's here, you're going to be leaking carbohydrates into the system, breaking down muscle tissue, particularly post-workout. You want to stop that as soon as possible and start the recovery phase, which is super, super, super important. And Lumen will shed a little light on that. So I'm a big fan of Lumen. I've been using that for 4 years. I think a lot of people maybe in the health space are like, oh, I don't know. But your cognitive function, seeing how you respond. Now after 4x4, I'm in fat burn, which means I can just hang out there for a little while. I'm not worried about losing muscle tissue after a high intensity interval or after a weightlifting session. But if you're finding yourself, you are still burning carbs for like an hour, 2 hours after, and you haven't eaten, let's get that switched off. Add in food, and you'll watch that you switch into fat burn, because as the insulin goes up, you store all those carbohydrates into your now empty muscles, and then you will switch over into fat burn because those carbs are stored, not floating around your system. They're not adding to the carbs that your cortisol is leaking out into the system. They are switching that mechanism off, upping insulin, storing the carbs. Insulin, again, isn't bad. It's just the timing of insulin. The dose makes the poison. Anyway, so that's my kind of recommendation. If you want a personal trainer for the year, macro factor, Alpha Progression, that's going to take care of that. Add in some Zone 2, some steps, and some 4x4. That's all free. That's my gift to you. Get that over there. Then if you want to kind of get this metabolic health coaching in the top end, Apple Watch, Oura Ring, and a Lumen. And it's going to set you back a little bit of money, but it's going to be way cheaper than working with an in-person. And then if you want someone to have a look through your data, give me a shout. I'll put a link below for my one-to-one coaching, which is just online through Zoom, where I can have a little look at your data and give you just like point you in this direction, that direction. Most of the stuff people are doing is really just easy to change up, or just take a little bit of worry out. Hey, you're not going to mess up your things because you're going on a 2-week holiday. Here's a few things that you can do that's just going to help you maintain. So you want to progress or hold the line. What you don't want to do is progress and then take 10 steps backwards, progress, take 10 steps backwards. That's what most people are doing. That's why people are just spinning their wheels. YouTube sent me this, which is very delightful, and I would really appreciate it if you hit like on this video, share this video, drop a comment if you're interested in anything in this, or if you have a comment, always interested to see them, and subscribe. Angus out, and I'll check you guys in the next one.